Ahoy, we're back. I've been wanting to slash putting off reacting to this because it looks like it's going to be really dumb, but it's relevant news. Usually we like the video. We'll go ahead and dislike the video here. Yeah, Discord also had a big leak. We need to bully these people more by some loser. The right-wing VTuber Grifter situation is insane. And even before I play the video, like we could get into how they misuse the word grifter. Like, are they right-wing or are they grifters? Are they grifting for the right, or are they actual right-wingers with actual hateful views or whatever? But let's just jump in and see what this stunning person has to say.
Drama slop alert. Drama slop alert.
This video is drama slop and politics slop. I am
Cool.
warning you now.
I love it. I love it. That's what I do. And yeah, this machine kills fascists. I'm sure. Femboy? Femgirl? I don't know.
Don't want to see drama slop and politics slop about the VTuber community, then I suggest you do not watch
like
this
my
video.
whole fucking
Thank
thing.
you for your attention to this matter. So I've been aware of the phenomenon of like right-wing VTuber grifters for a while now.
Phenomenon. Don't read that phonetically.
I guess it makes sense
gotcha.
that like they exist because lots of VTuber culture tends to kind of skew a little bit left-wing, and when it comes to people who like VTubers, there are a lot of loser virgin chuds looking for a home, you know, who feel like they can't.
I don't know about that, man. Like, of course that's true, but it's just like, I don't like from the leftist perspective. Like we've seen who they are. We've seen who they are. I don't really want to be lectured about being a whatever he said, the loser virgin chud or whatever. I don't want to really be lectured by that on those topics by leftists because they don't really have a ground to stand on as a group.
Can't find a VTuber who represents their politics, their shitty, toxic, awful politics. So, you know, obviously...
Am I even going to be able to make it through this video? It's just, like, it literally is just slop. We're, like, a minute in, and he's just saying nonsense.
Market, which leads to
be intentionally provocative, but it means, like, the content is not there. There's no content. Give me content, not just being a moron.
Be right-wing grifter VTuber. You know, a lot of them are basically just kind of copying Asmongold's YouTube channel. It's a lot of just like
97-minute react. He said nothing of substance. Yes. LA is over. Leaflet. Asmon. Wait, who is reacting to the? Oh well, that's Asmon reacting to that guy. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Gamergate reaction content.
No way. Gamergate never dies. They just respawn.
Copying Asmongold's YouTube channel, it's a lot of just like Gamergate reaction content and just
this is so cringe. Kirsha. Leaflet again. War on men. They keep attacking men. They do. Minnesota daycare fraud. They do be frauding. They do be frauding.
General politics reactions and awful.
Rev and Kirsha again. Tim Walz folds after Trump. Disrespectful devs appealed to the modern agenda and instantly found out or whatever. Yup.
Shitty opinions about current events. Yeah, no, it's awful cesspool.
I'm just curious here. What do you talk about? You made a huge mistake. I'm not going to be baited. Maybe we'll be baited into watching this. What do words mean? That one, I saw someone else reacting to it a little bit. I haven't seen anything about this. I wanted to go in blind. I know a lot of people were reacting to it, but I wanted to go in blind. I saw a little bit of this, and similar to what I wanted to do here, I just tuned out. I'm just like, that's not worth my time. What a dumbass. But yeah, I mean, he's just drama baiting hard. I'm sorry, bait. So I made anti-fascist propaganda. Cringe? Goonerbait gotcha game. Mind breaks a helpless femboy. Kill me. Watching memes to fight depression. Oh, this guy's mentally unwell too. Huh. And to be clear, before anyone gets triggered, I'm not saying depression is a mental illness. I mean, it kind of is, but my point is, I'm not trying to mock people with depression. I'm just saying people who like lean into it for this, like, oh yeah, I'm fighting depression or whatever. Yeah, whatever. No, actually, just fight it. Don't talk about it, man. Man up. No. Anyway. Oh my God. Yeah, it's ass. It's ass. And most of his stuff gets only slightly more than views than me. So yeah, he hit it big there because everyone reacted to it. That's what we're watching right now. And then, I mean, he's still at 10x there. 10x and 8x. Like, he's still way up from his past stuff. But you can see he hasn't been able to recapture that. Interesting stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the video. It's cosplaying as a depressed for a grift, ironically. Could be. Yeah, he's doing the boy failure thing, or the femboy failure. Whoa, dude. If that's not a thing, I have more self-respect than to do it. But that's a fucking niche, man. Femboy failure. Dude, everyone's gonna eat that shit up. Everyone's gonna eat that shit up. Clip it and ship it. Femboy failure, man. Holy shit, that's gold.
Bullshit. But, you know, it pays the bills, I guess. So literally just today, I made the...
It's funny, I know we're reacting to this. I've like talked over him a couple times. I haven't heard everything he's said. I've heard some of it, but it's all been so useless. Like, I've never cared less about the content of something I'm reacting to. We're gonna get through this, find the funny bits, talk about them. But wow, like, I'm just not engaged here, man. I'm not engaged. Like, he's not even, because he's saying it in such an annoying way. It's not even like rage baiting me. I'm just like, this guy's stupid and trying too hard.
Mistake of thinking to myself, what's going on in the right-wing VTuber grifter sphere? And I went ahead and looked and was immediately made angry by how stupid this current drama is. I'm not going to sit here and cover like this entire like play-by-play. A lot of it's very stupid, but just as a quick overview, Miss Lala is a VTuber, has kind of like a 1950s kind of diner aesthetic to her model and her stream, and she tweets out "fuck ICE," which of course, based good opinion, everybody agrees with this. Based.
Again, he's just trying way too fucking hard.
Opinion. If you don't agree with this, fuck you. That gets quote.
Dude, I wanted to be fucking pissed off at that guy. I'm just pissed off at him, but not for his politics, man. He's not getting me with the politics. I want retarded politics, and to be fair, they are retarded, but he's so retarded, I'm focusing on him being retarded than his politics being retarded. This isn't fun.
Tweeted by Rev, who is one of these just like Gamergate right-wing grifter VTubers.
You can't just... Again, he's just so retarded. You can't just stick Gamergate onto everything, man. You can't just... It's not an addition. You don't just stick it on there as a suffix or something like that. +2 Gamergate longsword. Sounds kind of sick.
Is one of these just like Gamergate right-wing grifter VTubers. Generally just like kind of a like hateable human being from everything I've ever seen of him. And he accuses her of being a hypocrite because she's a 1950s aesthetic VTuber and she hates the current federal agency.
I will say, and a lot of people called Rev out on that. It was not a amazingly well thought out argument. Like, I would have just said, like, you could have just left it there and been like getting involved in modern day politics. Like, that's a little bit weird if your whole thing is, you know, that if your identity is a 1950s VTuber, talking about current events at all is kind of weird because you're in the 50s. But like, yeah, no, trying to be like, oh well, they had more tyrannical agents back in the day or something was a weird take, and everyone called him out for it. Like, the right called him out for it too. The people who were defending him on the advanced GG stuff were still like, I don't really agree on the argument here. But yeah, who the fuck cares what the law enforcement was like in the 50s? It's not really relevant to the
more tame than any law enforcement agency of the time period included in her LARP. And then criticizes her for locking replies. So like, first off, this is not...
Yes, he's right on that one though. He's right on that one. Everyone who locks replies is a pussy.
Hypocrisy. This is an incredibly stupid point that makes zero sense. Somebody deciding they want to use a 1950s aesthetic for the VTuber does not require that they agree with 1950s politics. I don't understand where this is coming from. The whole drama kind of spirals into something stupid in the first place, but
no, but again, like I said, 1950s aesthetic is not great, like, because you're going to be breaking immersion all the time if you talk politics at all. Like, yeah, just no.
This being the starting point is so incredibly dumb. His criticism is,
I mean, I guess you could do it, but you'd want to step away from the it as the entire identity. Like that would actually be kind of funny. Like your whole aesthetic is 1950s, but all you do is talk politics or something. That would be funny, actually.
So incredibly stupid. It makes no sense. Like, oh man, you're a dog VTuber. Oh, but you don't just bark your entire stream and you speak in English. Wow, what a hypocrite. Oh, you're a vampire VTuber and you go out during the day. Oh, hypocrite.
They're a VTuber. Of course they don't go out during the day. Also, this guy's arguments are absolutely brain dead.
It's just dumb. Like, I don't understand where this even came from. I don't know. Rev seems like kind of a moron, honestly. Like, I've never thought he was like a very good person, but he also just seems kind of stupid.
Pot kettle. Like, wow, this guy's calling someone stupid, huh? How did he harass? He didn't harass anyone. Stop playing victim, bro. You harassed people. He tweeted someone who was tweeted.
There's a lot of mention thrown back and forth in this exchange of like harassment.
Rev's not stupid.
None of this is harassment. Rev is correct. Like quoting a tweet is
what?
not
Actual
harassment.
Nuance?
Even if you're mean, even if what you're saying is really stupid. Nobody harassed anybody here. It feels like a lot of people are just like weaponizing.
That's not true. They harassed him. And he was unfairly canceled from Advanced GG. Are you gonna address that? You literally had the tweet. You literally had the tweets up here, of his tweets, and then they showed. You showed it somewhere else there too. Oh, like yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, it must have been like right after this. Yeah, there we go. That was actual harassment going on. There was threats against the company. Yep.
Quoting a tweet is not harassment, even if you're mean, even if what you're saying is really stupid.
This is so painful.
Nobody harassed anybody here. It feels like a lot of people are just like weaponizing that word to make it seem like the person on the other side of the conflict did something.
Again, the person on the other side of the conflict did do some things.
Like morally indefensible.
You literally had the tweets on screen of actual harassment.
So that they can kind of gain the high ground, and all that's kind of dumb. However, locking your replies when you're getting a lot of hate, like, that's valid.
That's valid.
This idea that you're, like, not allowed to lock your replies, or that you're...
I'm going to mock anyone who does. Of course you're allowed to. It's a feature, but yeah, you're a pussy.
Like, obligated somehow to allow people to comment under your post and, like, be toxic towards you. Like, that's... it's so stupid. I don't understand, like, where people got this idea that you're required to sit there and read all of, like, the criticism about you and, like,
You could not. There's also a mute option, too. But, again, if you're going to put out a strong statement like, fuck ICE, and then lock the replies, that's kind of silly. You're like, I'm putting my stance out there, but I don't want anyone to tell me I'm wrong on this stance or whatever. Like, yeah, no, that's pushy shit.
Allow it to be aired out. You're allowed to curate your social media space. Like, if you don't want to see criticism of yourself, like, that's fine. Lock your comments. Who cares? And anybody who criticizes you and implies that you are, like, required to allow public dogpiling of yourself, just don't listen to them. That's a stupid opinion. I don't know. Again, it's just people finding things to try and criticize about the other side to sort of gain some sort of, like...
I zoned out there because this guy's so fucking boring.
Moral high ground. I would say the only, like, truth of this situation is that Rev's attack was just stupid in the first place and made no sense. It's not that he did something, like, wrong or more...
Dude, I ramble much more than this guy, but, like, I'm more coherent. Like, I'm not always concise, but I can at least put a thought together. This guy's just bland. It's so bad.
Morally incorrect. It's that...
But he's got the right opinions, and that's what matters. That's the other thing. Like, is he even trying to be entertaining? Like, Like, you got to put some emotion into it. I'm not saying I like act or anything, but I do a little bit more. Like I'm more emotionally invested when I'm in front of the camera and microphone than I am in everyday life generally. But yeah, you got to put some energy into it, man. You got to get invested. You got to lock in. He's not locked in. Yeah, that's a good point. Like I said, I actually criticized him for trying too hard. But what is he trying to do? He's trying to be like bland and dry. Like, I think he's actually going for that on purpose. And I don't think that really works in the VTuber sphere anyway. Like, he would be better off being one of the like bread tubers who shows their face. Like, they're boring too, but at least like that's kind of the niche that like you can do that. But yeah, part of it is just, this is not VTubing. Like, again, I'm a political VTuber. There are plenty of other political VTubers. It's not that he's political, it's that he's not entertaining. You could do this dry style, but it doesn't really work in anime form. I don't know. There's just something about it. It doesn't strike right.
That he's just a fucking moron. Also, Rev likes to use the term Twitter freaks a lot when
criticizing the Twitter freaks. Yeah. You should use the word Twitter freaks when criticizing Twitter freaks. But yeah, no, I don't know. There's just something about it. Like, this guy would be better as a flesh tuber. Like, he should just show his face and join the bread tubers who make boring content, but do that in that kind of dry style or whatever. Like, that works for some people. This is I don't know,
terrible. People or like groups of people who are either criticizing him or criticizing his opinions.
And I don't even edit my stuff. His stuff is actually edited, or he's got toggles like he was flipping around and stuff. Like, I think this is more produced. He's put effort into the acting and the after production, and it's still slop.
Or things that he feels defensive about. I think that's pretty interesting, considering some of the responses that seem to agree with his take. I definitely agree.
You can't say those are from him. Like, oh, of course you are. Like, that's just, his two dads are probably well off and fund him. So, but yeah. These are just people, like, maybe they found it through Rev or something. Like, I see this guy, but other people would have found it too. Like, that was like you said, fuck ice in public. Well, in Twitter public, that's gonna get reactions. I'm sure it wasn't only Rev that retweeted you. I'm not sure if he was even the first. Like, how did he see this? Where did he see this? Someone else that he follows probably retweeted too, and he's a bigger account, so he boosted it or something. But like, yeah, you said fuck ice. You made a very strong political stance that a lot of people strongly disagreed with.
The responses that seem to agree with his take. I definitely agree. There are some Twitter freaks out there. Like, the main takeaway for me from just like the starting point of this entire series of events is that Rev is not like a very serious person. On the one hand, he says that like criticizing people isn't harassing anybody, and then he turns around right away and
But yeah, I forget the full tweet and if it did show some of the other stuff. But yeah, like, this probably isn't harassment, but it's still stronger than what Rev said. I mean, they're doing an absolutely fuck you. This gets into some vulgar stuff down there, but the other person I think this was Vex here. The other posts by this, which might be shown below. I forget. There were multiple posts. But yeah, so these might not have been the best examples of harassment, but there was definitely harassment by the people quoted.
Accuses other people of harassing him.
Yeah, they were
basically just publicly criticizing
him.
I guess
no,
if you
they were adding the company and being like, we're gonna drop the company if you don't drop Rev. Like, they were running campaigns against him. Come on.
Criticize somebody like more than once. Does that then become harassment based on his standards? I don't really understand. He's a grifter. He's a drama profiteer who plays dumb and innocent in the face of any criticism for his awful opinions and his awful...
Fuck it. I can't do this We're going at like 1.25.
Behavior, and he shouts woke and Twitter freak when he criticizes
That'll
things
help
that he
a
doesn't
little
like.
bit.
That's about it. For the record, there are a lot of people on Twitter who have some really stupid opinions, but he doesn't hate those people. He loves those people. They're his content. They're also his audience. He's a valueless husk.
He's reaching. I mean, what do I even say? He's so boring. There's not even React content here.
Those people. He loves those people.
Yeah, he's not making an argument. He's just validating his own biases. Like he's not putting forward a actual argument. I'm not saying everything has to be an argument, but at least like have a point. Like he's just jumping from point to point and being like, hey, these are bad people and Rev is a bad person and Rev likes bad people or whatever. Like there's no argument here. There's no even chain of logic. It's literally just bad guys. We're talking about bad guys.
They're his content. They're also his audience. He's a valueless
Zero
husk
structure,
who
no
still
argument.
posts Gamergate content in 2020.
Stop saying Gamergate! Holy shit!
Honestly, he should be
What does
shamed
it
and bullied
have?
off of every platform, and he should lose all business deals that he manages.
Why? I hope he's not going to have an argument, but I'd love to hear the argument of how those things fall. Because so far you've just said you don't like him, and he's a bad person. Make the argument for why he should get kicked off and lose his employment.
To get his hands on. He's a piece of shit. Fuck him.
Okay.
Now, of course, part of the right-wing grifter model of content is to...
Please whine about AI. Please whine about AI. Although, I mean, that's actually, I guess that's, what, like based? Is that Gavin Newsom or something? Like based Gavin Newsom, I guess? So this, I don't know, anyway.
React to these sort of things, so this instance immediately starts drawing in the other right-wing grifters in the space.
Apparently it's breaking news.
Oh, no, you didn't. He did not, man. He's after Leaflet now. This will not do.
That apparently they were dropped from Advanced GG over the cancellation campaign. And let me
this is just fucking insane because, like, that's a principled stance backing up someone who has the cancel mob after them. Like you said, like I said in some of the earlier Emiru stuff, it doesn't even have to be someone you agree with. Like, I don't particularly like or dislike Emiru. I was on her side because the other side was the cancel mob. I'm anti-cancel mob, cancel culture. So, and that's what Leaflet's doing here, and she's friends with Rev. But it's just like, to say that this is grifting, no, she was backing up a friend and backing up her own principles.
explain to you why this is stupid.
Leaflet is one such VTuber who I've seen.
I was hoping he'd whine about AI, but I think this is his retarded AI.
Their name thrown around a lot. The interesting thing is, I actually used to watch Leaflet's content back.
He used to be a fan. Say it. Say it. Say it, bitch. Say it.
When she just was like a regular streamer who posted video game content, but apparently she realized that copying Asmongold was like super profitable. So like it's
good for her, man. She's fucking up there. Holy shit, she hit it big.
Honestly insane to look at her current YouTube videos in contrast with her old.
Okay, what's your point? What's your point? That, I mean, you could say the same. Obviously, this is a new channel, but that's my thing too. You do realize the world also changed. Like, that's 3 years ago. That's like 2023. Yeah, different world. Different world. A lot of stuff was changing. A lot of people's politics were changing.
The YouTube videos. I mean, it makes sense. Like, she's obviously
except for war. War never changes, of course.
doing much better with this content model. But like, literally watching a Benny Johnson video, like Benny.
Yeah, that fuck. I hate to agree with him again, but that's kind of low. That's kind of low, man. Do better. Do better, Leaflet.
Johnson, the world's most smug, sentient piece of human shit.
But then he just had to go to not having an argument. My issue with Benny Johnson, like, see, like I said, if you're gonna make a point, at least make a point. I can tell you what I have wrong, what I don't like about Benny Johnson. I never said I'd make the argument articulately, but I said I could make an argument. What I don't like, or again, don't like is a bit strong, but what I don't appreciate and what I criticize about Benny Johnson is I don't think he brings much to the table. Speaking of empty husks, like he mentioned earlier, I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm just saying Benny Johnson does not really have his own style or personality. I think you could slot almost anyone into the Benny Johnson's show or whatever and have them read the same lines, and if you got a good actor or something, you'd have a better Benny Johnson. So I don't think Benny Johnson on his own actually brings a lot of value. That's my criticism of Benny Johnson. Like, see, it's not hard. You make an argument, you have a point. You can agree or disagree with the point, whatever, but I made a point. I made a point about Benny Johnson. It's not hard. Holy shit. This guy's so retarded.
Obviously doing much better with this content model. But like literally watching a Benny Johnson video, like Benny Johnson.
Oh my God. He's going to have a point. He's going to have a point. He's criticizing Benny Johnson. He must have something to back it up.
The world's most smug, sentient piece of human shit.
Never mind. What is his content? What is he trying to do here? Again, I'm getting rage baited, but not for the reasons I thought. He can have whatever stupid libtard opinions he wants. That's not what's getting to me. Him being a bland retard is what's getting to me. Again, make a fucking argument that I can at least like engage with. Because yeah, I don't like Benny Johnson either. I'm not going to call him a giant fucking piece of shit or whatever. And if I was, I'd tell you why. You don't just say it and run on to the next bullshit.
I just can't imagine like falling that low just for content.
Because this isn't an assault on a specific person. This is an assault on like anyone that thinks ICE is okay. Anyone that voted for ICE, anyone that agrees with ICE. This is them telling their creators, you don't mean shit to us. Because the instant that it becomes inconvenient for us.
Not even that. I'd even go further. See, Leaflet's making a point. I can engage with her argument and say like what I agree with and what I disagree with. It goes beyond your opinions on ICE. It's anything. Like people have been saying, cancel culture is back. It's no longer, again, and as I've said, I'm not blackpilled on that. I think cancel culture, it does not have the power it used to, but it's still back. And so yeah, it's coming for all of us. So it's not just whatever your opinion is on ICE, it's whatever your opinion is on whatever they choose to go after you over. So yeah, I see, Leaflet made an argument. I made an argument. I could bounce thoughts off that. This guy's brought literally nothing. I don't think I've like actually engaged with a single point. It's all about like his personality and his style. I don't think I've engaged or debunked a single point. Oh, I mean, he was wrong. I've debunked him on a few things that he was wrong about, like the no harassment from either side or something like that. They pick whatever issue they want, big or small, and will use it to ostracize and cancel. Yep.
We're kicking you out.
But yeah, no, it's wild. I don't think I've really engaged with any of his arguments except when he's just outright wrong.
No matter how loyal you were to us, no matter how much money you made us, none of that fucking matters. We never have your back. And that's literally what this says. This is so freaking ridiculous, man.
Now, like, notice how like dramatic and emotional she's being about this. Like,
notice how dramatic and emotional she's being. Dude, you should use a little bit of that. I mean, sure, you're a femboy, so you know, try to get like a, you know, I mean, I guess it'd be still cringe because you'd have to embrace that personality, but maybe stop being a femboy and then get like get some anger in there, man. Get going or something. I don't know. He's too swimmy from SSRIs.
like
this no, there's nothing wrong. And again, it's important to get engaged. You want to show a little emotion because otherwise no one really knows where you're coming from. You gotta invest a little bit, man, especially as a VTuber. And that's part of the thing. Like you have to show a little emotion because you're not, especially, you know, without these super advanced models, you're not as expressive as a real person. You can't even see my hands because I don't have the hand tracking or whatever. I'd like that at some point. But yeah, I'm not as expressive as if I had my face cam on. I have to do a little extra. VTubers have to do a little extra. So him criticizing a VTuber for being like emotional and dramatic, it's like, they're a VTuber. That's what they do. That's what you gotta do. That's what you're not doing, and that's what's pissing me off. He actually finally made he made an argument. Again, it's just him being wrong, but he finally made an argument I can actually bounce thoughts off of and interact with, which is that Leaflet was being emotional and overdramatic. That's, yes, there's a bit of engagement here because it's because he's fucking wrong, but Yeah, no. You gotta invest. You gotta invest, dude. So yeah, you finally made an argument, but you were again completely wrong.
This is like
Lame
the
and gay.
facts
Next
don't
point.
care about your feelings crowd over here. They don't care about you. They don't care about us. If you're a reasonable person, you'll get thrown to the side and thrown to the wolves. Like, Jesus Christ, give me a break. Like, you're...
Like, can you put some real emotion into it instead of mocking emotion? Because, yeah, this was the closest to actual, like, character he's had, and it's still fucking cringe and fake and performative.
Get thrown to the side and thrown to the wolves. Like, Jesus Christ, give me a break. Like, you're just crying like a baby because people don't like your
She wasn't crying.
shitty politics.
And they do. They do. She's massively successful. Cope and seethe, buddy. Cope and seethe.
Advanced GG can do whatever it wants. They can make decisions about who they partner with
Yeah, and they just probably destroyed their own fucking company. Good for them. Goodbye.
based on anything. It's a private company. The CEO is allowed to not like the vibes of the partners for any reason. You are literally...
I thought that's not what it was. I thought Rev was running harassment campaigns. That's why he was kicked out. It wasn't because the CEO didn't like him.
encouraging people to boycott them in response. You are reacting to their behavior and choosing to not do business with them as a form of punishment for that behavior. You're allowed to do that, but so is the company. They're reacting to the behavior of one of their partners and choosing not to do business with them, acting like it's some sort of
Click the retweets. They were fucking dope.
outrageous, completely unheard of thing, and they're betraying people. It is stupid.
They were. They sided with actual harassers against people who did nothing wrong, and his wife. That was wild. Let's get Rev. Oh, and Straub, because that's Rev's wife.
You're just crying about it. Like, relax, grow up. Like, the title of the video, This is War, like, I understand.
Based? Are you going to engage with that too? You can't be racist against white people? You'd probably agree, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, buddy? This machine kills fascists.
And that it's clickbait, I do understand that, but it's like so dramatic. It's just...
I understand this is clickbait, but it's so dramatic. Bro is so fucking brain dead.
Ugh.
It's one thing to be a politically neutral entity, and it's another thing to actually take enforcement action on behalf of a political ideology.
Taking enforcement action on behalf of a political ideology. They just don't like you. Like, I just don't understand the confusion here, like the bewilderment, the like, oh my god, how could they do this? People...
I like how he's so dumb, he's just putting it all out there. Yes, they were canceled for people not liking them. Not that they did anything wrong. So it was political.
People don't like you and your shitty politics. You are toxic to this country. We want you to shut the fuck up and stop voting for pedophile rapists. Like...
I don't vote for Democrats. Self-outing bad, just like in his other videos.
What is confusing about that? Companies are comprised of people. Those people have opinions. Those people are allowed to act upon those opinions within their company. That's capitalism. Deal with it. It's just so obnoxious how, like, pearl clutching.
No one said they're not allowed to. Yeah, I know. But yeah, no one said they're not allowed to. Advanced GD didn't do anything illegal. They did something stupid. Well, I don't know. I actually don't know what their contracts were, but I'm assuming they didn't do anything illegal. But they did something stupid and wrong and sided with the actual harassers that, as opposed to their own creator. Yeah, I mean, what can we say? I know he's strawmanning here too. It's like no one was making the argument that they can't do it. They were saying they shouldn't, and I think tactically they shouldn't have done that crowd is correct, and time will show that.
And dramatic and like crybaby these people become when they like receive like criticism and backlash for their like awful opinions and their like awful politics. These are the consequences for your action. That's the way it is. Get fucked.
Again, what actions? You said there was no harassment. His whole video point is just these people are bad and I don't like them and they're bad. And he's criticizing other people about being like over emotional and grifting and not thinking things through.
Another video that I looked at regarding the situation was from Kirsha, which was an hour-long video. What the fuck? She kind of like hides her power level in this video, honestly. It's a pretty like level-headed kind of reason.
This guy's such a fucking retard. So he's already made up her mind that she's bad, but she's not as bad as he expected in this video. So she's hiding her true feelings because she's not being bad. can I still, will my brain track him at 1.5 speed? 1.25 is just not giving us enough.
She kind of like hides her power level
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this video,
we're fine.
honestly. It's a pretty like level-headed, kind of reasonable take about...
And that's a problem because he's already determined that she's bad right-wing grifter, so she's hiding her power level by not wanting every immigrant murdered or whatever. This is so stupid.
Just like how toxic Twitter is and how nobody was really harassing anybody. The one take that she gives here that I definitely wanted to criticize was when she's talking about like cancel culture and cancel culture being a bad thing, and she
No, it's great because the chuds.
talks about the comparison of her behavior in the past where she was encouraging going after people who were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, like, and canceling those people and getting them to lose their jobs, comparing that to
Based,
quote unquote canceling Rev and causing him and his wife to lose their advanced contracts.
It's from the Charlie Kirk stuff of going after people for simply not liking him. No, I don't care if someone doesn't like Charlie Kirk. I care if they're celebrating that he died. That is fucking weird.
This is pretty funny because she acts like there's some sort of clear distinction here, which is based on kind of nothing.
remember, this is the side that has empathy. These are the empathy havers here.
For simply not liking him. No, I don't care if someone doesn't like Charlie Kirk. I care if they're celebrating that he died. That is fucking weird.
This is pretty funny because she acts like there's some sort of clear distinction here.
A moment of silence for my last brain cell.
Which is based on kind of nothing. Celebrating violence against somebody isn't actually illegal. In fact, here's Charlie Kirk doing that.
Again, no one said it's illegal. And you're going to play the clip that's wildly out of context and total lie, and I will tell you why. He's going to fucking play the Paul Pelosi attacker video. He's going to do it. I'm telling you right now, he's going to fucking do it. But let's go back for a sec here.
Contracts.
It's from the Charlie Kirk stuff of going after people for simply not liking him. No, I don't care if someone doesn't.
I don't care if someone doesn't like him.
I care if they're celebrating that he died.
She cares if they're celebrating his death. She didn't say it's illegal. And you said, and this guy, this fucking retard said Rev and Straub and all the rest deserve to lose their jobs and worse because he doesn't agree with them. So it doesn't have to be illegal. Doesn't have to be illegal. That's his own argument. And she is not saying that it's illegal. She's saying that it's weird and creepy. And it is. I don't really have much sympathy for the people who lost their jobs for cheering on the death, but he's right that it's not illegal. But a bunch of those people were also advocating more violence. I know if I was an employer and that was brought to my attention, I wouldn't want potential radicals at my business. I'm like, well, that's kind of unhinged. I mean, again, even the just celebrating is unhinged, but again, not illegal. But even that's like an employer would kind of look at that a little weird. Again, that's not saying it's right to go out and intentionally try to cancel these people, but it is a different thing canceling someone for like definitely death threats, but grave dancing is still like kind of wild. It's like, whoa, you're like out there crying in joy because Charlie Kirk got killed. That's kind of weird. Yeah.
That is fucking weird.
This is pretty funny because she acts like there's some sort of clear distinction here.
I do like this though. Like we get occasional things we can react to because like this is just such a fucking empty-headed like nothing take, like, and just it makes him look so fucking bad. Does he even realize what he's saying here?
They're celebrating that he died. That is fucking weird.
Yeah.
This is pretty funny because she acts like there's some sort of clear distinction here, which is based on kind of nothing. Celebrating violence against
Not liking someone and celebrating their death are two very different things. There are plenty of people I don't like. I've never, just like you said earlier, I've never celebrated someone's death. Oh, man. Like, of course there's a distinction. And she never said it was illegal, you retard.
somebody isn't actually illegal. In fact, here's Charlie Kirk doing that regarding Paul Pelosi getting attacked with
What the fuck did I say?
the hammer.
And why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero,
The implication of the question he would be answering here is alluding to the conservative conspiracy theory that the attacker was Paul Pelosi's gay lover, or many of other things. It doesn't have to be that.
someone should go and bail this guy out and then go ask him some questions.
So clearly there are some situations in which...
And I did say I'd give the context there. He, I think immediately before and after that, said that it was terrible. He condemns the violence. He wasn't saying bail them out because they're a hero because they attacked Paul Pelosi. He wasn't saying that the attack on Paul Pelosi was good. None of that was celebrating violence. He did not celebrate violence. They tried to take that clip way out of context when he did condemn the violence, and he was talking about the difference in enforcement of the law. Like, that was his issue there, was that he thought it was a political enforcement. It was in a speech about him talking about all the criminals the Democrats let out in the city of San Francisco to roam the streets. And then this guy, because he attacked a politically connected person, is actually going to jail. He's like, that's kind of weird. Can we bail this guy out and ask some questions? It wasn't patting him on the back. It wasn't celebrating the attack. It was saying that the enforcement of the law was political.
Celebrating violence against somebody is okay. You know, maybe if you just like dislike the person enough. The reality is you had a moral objection to public statements of a person, these people who are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, and you worked to get that person punished monetarily. That's exactly what happened to Rev. People had a moral objection to their behavior and their public statements, and those people...
You just said his public statements were not harassment, though. You just don't like him. That's a difference.
People work to get them punished monetarily. It's the same thing. Acting like there's some sort of distinction there
it's
is
not
silly, because there's not really.
There's actually, whether or not legal or not, there's at least wrongdoing on the moral wrongdoing at the very least, of like cheering on the death and just being a right winger. That's your problem with Rev. You already said he wasn't running a harassment campaign, so your problem is just his entire existence and who he is and what he represents. That it's kind of creepy to cancel someone over that, because if you applied that universally, he's dead. Like, he's homeless. He can't support himself if he can't get a job anywhere because he has the wrong politics. That's no way to run a society.
Distinction where you draw the line between what's acceptable behavior to punish that way and what's not, but that's just based on your own personal opinions. There's nothing really concrete there to go off of. And also, like, Rev's behavior in this specific Twitter interaction is clearly not like the actual full reason for this campaign to get their contract pulled from...
Yeah, we do. Bottom text. But, and once again, he's putting in facts that don't actually exist because he's already made up his mind with his dumbass ideology that he doesn't even understand. Similar to that Tectone vid, like, you could ask this guy why he believes what he does and he couldn't give you an answer. He is a programmed individual. But yeah, so here he goes, inputting facts that don't exist again. Listen, he says that this wasn't why Rev was fired. You mean it's a really bad reason why Rev was fired, and the real reason is that the company caved under a harassment mob of their own creators. That's what you're saying here.
Behavior in this specific Twitter interaction is clearly not like the actual full reason for...
So you're going to present the actual full reason, right? Right? That's coming next, I'm sure, right? Do you want to bet on whether or not this is coming next?
Or this campaign to get their contract pulled from Advanced. Anybody who is going with the narrative that this was harassment on Rev's part and that's why they deserve to lose the contract, that's obviously...
That's what the company said.
Stupid. I would agree that none of this was harassment. Clearly, this event was just kind of a flash.
The hell? So what's the real reason?
Point for something that had been brewing in the community for a while, which, like, again, to kind of just like circle back to this, people hate you and your politics. They're going...
He's so close. He keeps saying actual things that are actually true, but then using them to justify his shitty perspective. What you're saying is demonic. It's absolutely terrible. It's immoral. It's unjust. It's not a justice system. He's literally multiple times leaned on they're bad people. That his entire argument is Rev is a bad person.
Something that had been brewing in the community for a while, which, like, again, to kind of just like circle back to this, people hate you and your politics.
Oh, I am glad he's at least being a lol cow now, because he was so fucking boring at 1x speed. No, and he was so fucking boring at the beginning of the video. I was worried we wouldn't have anything to react here, but he's finally being extra retarded, not just in general, but on the politics stuff too. Like, he's going deep on the just being an absolute leftist retard here. Let's go. You can do it, buddy. Keep me entertained, you weirdo femboy.
They're going to come after you. They're going to bully you. They're going to try to get you punished monetarily.
Again, for being a shit person, aka someone who doesn't agree with him. He's saying that it's fine. Again, he still hasn't provided a single argument, though. Like, he's being slightly more entertaining and politically rage baiting now, but he still has not provided a single argument.
On Rev's part, and that's why they deserve to lose the contract. That's obviously stupid. I would agree that none of this...
That's what the company said?
was harassment. Clearly, this event was just kind of a flashpoint for something that had been brewing in the community for a while, which, like, again, to kind of just, like, circle back to this, people...
What community? It was a fucking company. People
hate you and your politics. They're going to come after you. They're going to bully you. They're going to...
And that seems like a really fucking stupid way to do things. I've never tried to make a leftist lose their job.
Try to get you punished monetarily. Get used to it. You're a scum. You deserve it. Also, at some point in this video, she...
Is he actually this dumb? Is he actually this dumb, or is he rage bait? Is this whole thing fucking rage bait? I keep going back and forth because it's so fucking dumb. So dumb? Yeah, probably. Probably, because he doesn't seem smart enough to rage bait successfully, but this is just...
Again, to kind of just, like, circle back to this, people hate you and your politics. They're going to come after you. They're going to bully you. They're going to try to get you punished monetarily. Get used to it. You're a scum. You deserve it.
Okay, but if I say you're scum and that we're coming after you and canceling you and stuff, do you just have to get used to it? I mean, oh no, I'm sorry, because you live in a very black and white reality where you are the good guys and I am the bad guy. So it'd be totally different if I did the exact same thing you were advocating for you, because I thought you're a piece of shit and a bad person and a scum and don't deserve a job or employment or, you know, living. Like, this, again, this goes back to there's people you can't argue with. That's also from the text tone thing. This is someone you can't argue with because they don't have a point. They are not rational. There is no rational argument here because it's literally black and white, us versus them. If you flip the sides and everything else stays the exact same, in his eyes, it's a completely different and now unjust scenario. I wonder what he'd have to say about the Clara thing if he wanted to get into the Phase Connect drama too. Like, that was bad, her being forced to leave, apparently, right? I'm sure, because she has the right politics, so it's bad that she leaves. It's bad if anything bad happens to Vex or JoJo from the Advanced GG stuff, because they're on the good side of things. They're the side that was actually harassing Rev and trying to get him fired. They're the good guys. If it happens to them, that's unjust, because the right would be winning. It's all so tiresome.
Also, at some point in this video, she mentions that she seems to believe that the ICE agent, Jonathan Ross, was run over by Renee Good. So I guess she's either blind or an idiot.
Even if you send clear proof.
I didn't want to spoil myself to this video. I wanted to go in blind, but I did see Kirsha saw this and reacted to it and had some of the same takes, basically that this guy's just a fucking retard.
A video that the ICE agent wasn't run over and Alex Pretty wasn't resisting. Where are you getting this video? Because that's not what the video I've watched from multiple angles shows. What video are you watching? Did you, like, make another AI video?
After that,
So yeah, I think her defense there was like, okay, so he wasn't run over, but he was hit. Like, I mean, that's a fair thing. A lot of people say, like, you know, you hit by a car, run over by a car, whatever. He was impacted by the vehicle, and as for Pretty or whatever, resisting, again, I'm not a big fan of that shoot, but he was resisting. So if we're just talking about the facts from there, yes, the agent was hit by a car. Yes, Pretty was resisting. Clearly, huge fan. Yeah, huge fan. But yeah, no, Pretty shoved an officer first, and then when they tackled him, he resisted, tried to get back up, fought. And I get that. I'm not even saying he shouldn't have. That's part of that's instinct. But to say he wasn't resisting simply is not true. He resisted multiple times and repeatedly.
Curiosity.
He never complied, in fact.
Shows? What video are you watching? Did you, like, make another AI video?
After that, out of curiosity, I went ahead and looked into her reaction to Alex Pretty being shot. And sure enough, she's 100% on board with the idea that he was violently resisting somehow. She also implied that he looked like a pedophile. So there's that. This is not a...
I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah, no, that actually tracks. Yep, kind of. He kind of do have that look. Alex Predator.
Serious person. None of these people are serious people. She's a retard. And
You're not a serious person. You're a retard, and probably whatever word you're going to say next.
Grifter. And she should...
Yes, and she should...
be treated like that.
Yeah, sure. Confidently saying the dumbest thing ever. This guy, he's got to be rage baiting. He's got to be rage baiting. Well, he clearly is. He clearly is rage baiting, but he can't be this dumb, right? Like, he is also rage baiting. He's clearly looking for attention here, but I think he might also be this dumb. Anyway, let's go on. But like I said, at least now we have content that is actually fun. Like, it really was just like boring at the start, but we're locked in. We're locked in. He's entertaining me now, at least.
There's no video for this one, but quick shout out to Powder, who had a just awful reply.
Powder mentioned. We love our Powder here, folks. And no video here, so he picked a zoomed up photo of Donald Trump. And again, like I said, he's actually editing his video, and it still comes out this fucking boring.
In the comments underneath one of these tweets. And there's a couple things here that are very dumb. Now, the one thing she is correct about, again, is that Twitter is Twitter. People are going to come after you when you make political takes. That is true. None of it was harassment. But the idea that, like, locking the replies was not the move, that, again, this idea that there's something virtuous about allowing people to criticize you publicly, that's stupid. But this part here, like, you claim empathy by saying fuck ICE, but do you have empathy for the American people, the countless people who are unemployed, the greedy business owners who take advantage of illegal immigration and pay people like shit so they don't have to hire Americans and pay them?
Based Powder. Like I said, we love our Powder. She's completely correct. How are you gonna rip this apart with facts and logic, you little weirdo?
A livable wage. First off, to be a conservative and bring up the concept of a livable wage is insane.
Why? Boost Powder. Why is that insane? Does he think conservatives don't want livable wages? One of the whole conservative things is like the American dream, the white picket fence, the house, the car. Like, that's one of the things I most care about. The economy is massively important. I don't want it in the leftist way of like free handouts, but I want to fix the economy so people are making livable wages. Absolutely, I want a livable wage. What is this dude smoking? And he either needs to smoke a lot less or a lot more of it.
Americans and pay them a livable wage. First off, to be a conservative and bring up the concept of a livable wage is insane.
It's not insane, and it directly ties to immigration, because if you're bringing in a lot of cheap foreign labor, it's going to drive wages down across the board. If you're bringing in a lot of, allegedly highly trained H-1B Indians to compete with the mid-level jobs and replace Americans, it's going to drive the wages down even more and steal jobs. You're stealing jobs from Americans, and then those Americans have to go out and find other jobs, and considering they've been pushed out of that, they're probably also going to come down and try to compete with the lowest wage jobs. Immigration hurts the poor and benefits the rich. So I can turn this around exactly. And again, I can actually make arguments. This is all off the cuff. This is not an edited video. And I can fucking run circles around this little dweeb. What the fuck? So look, so I can turn the argument around exactly and say, how can you be a leftist and be okay with a system of illegal immigration that hurts the poor, the proletariat, and benefits the rich, the bourgeoisie? How can you be a leftist? You're bougie. You're bougie. You support the corporations over the common worker. Have some compassion for the poor working people like me, a conservative, does. Yeah, again, I'm not even a debater. I would probably get crushed in a debate with someone who knows their shit. I'm not a debater, but I can think. I have thoughts. Despite being a VTuber, I can think. I have thoughts in my head. Oh, he hasn't even made an argument, much less a counter argument. Yeah. Oh, this is painful. Again, I'm not saying I'm amazing or anything, but that was completely off the cuff, and I made a coherent point and a coherent counter argument and coherently said why he's a fucking retard, and did so in a hopefully somewhat more entertaining fashion than what this guy does. It's not hard.
Like, you are lost. But let's talk about a couple of these things real quick.
And now he's so bad. He's so bad. Even when he finds something he's actually locked onto and seems to care about, like that conservatives can't want a livable wage, he just wanders off into like shit talking again. He just says you're lost and leaves it. So he had a point. It was a really bad point, but he had a point, and he doesn't even finish that. Draw the argument out to a conclusion. Point out why it's absurd for a conservative to think that they want a livable wage and Americans to be happy or something like that, which again is kind of the whole point of the conservative thing. Both sides allegedly want the American people to be happy. The left actually doesn't. I mean, they clearly have a vendetta against the concept of America, but that's a separate issue. But yeah, he has an argument. Conservatives don't want the living wage, which is stupid. And then still ends it with just like, duh.
Like shit, so they don't have to hire Americans and pay them a livable wage. First off, to be a conservative and bring up the concept of a livable wage is insane. Like, you are lost. But let's talk about a couple of these things.
Yeah, and he says first off, and then just bounces to something else. So yeah, it's insane. Like, you're lost. Not an argument. I hate to quote Ben Shapiro. That is Ben Shapiro, right? Anyway, not an argument. No, that's... Who does the not an argument thing?
Real quick. First off, like the idea that there's only two alternatives here. Option A, we are completely overrun by illegal immigrants all over this country. Or option B, we have masked armed men abducting and shooting U.S. citizens in the streets. Like, that's insane and stupid.
Shit, I'll give him that one. That's actually a point. Like, a lot of people are drawing the one way or the other. So yeah, people are making bad arguments, but that doesn't mean his arguments are good.
Stupid. So
yeah, he got there.
Is either insane or stupid to say such a thing.
No. She made a very compelling argument. And again, she wasn't doing the absolutist thing. He's strawmanning again. So again, he had a point and immediately ruined it by just applying it across the board and strawmanning it. Because Powder didn't say it was either or. He asked, like, she asked about, like, what about your compassion for the American people who are hurt by immigration? That's not saying it's either or and we need armed men marching through the streets executing Americans, like this guy's claiming. It wasn't an either or. She's just like, hey, but what about the Americans hurt by immigration, which is a completely valid answer. And if you are claiming the empathetic side, you do also have to be empathetic to the Americans hurt by immigration.
A couple relevant stats here. Unemployment in 2023 during Joe Biden's presidency. The evil, awful Joe Biden who had an open border, who allowed all these immigrants in the first place. Unemployment was at 3.4%. That's a 50-year low during that presidency. Since President Trump has been in office, it's climbed back up to 4.6%, which is the highest level since September of 2021, which was during the COVID recovery. Obviously, the immigration is not driving unemployment the way you're implying it is. Also, this idea that...
I mean... The stats themselves can be very easily manipulated. I don't have those numbers in front of me. I don't want to argue all the stats, but I'll just say there was a lot of lying going on both sides. Like, Trump has hid some stuff to try to make things look better. Biden was hiding stuff to make things look better. Like, there were instances where they were not being honest with the job numbers. I forget all the specifics, but that was a thing that happened. And again, like I said, from both people, Trump just failed to release some stuff back in October or something. Trump has never lied ever. Yep. No, you're right. But yeah, no. And like, how can you link that to immigration? Like, it takes a while. So even let's say those numbers are correct and there was lower unemployment under Biden than under Trump. You can't tie that to immigration. There's a whole lot of other issues going on. And if immigrants are taking those jobs and there's more like legal immigration or something, like the H-1Bs are up, like we have kind of swapped it out. So it's actually an interesting point that he says, oh, well, there's less immigration now because ICE. I believe we have swapped in some ways legal immigration for illegal immigration. So we have more H-1Bs. So you have more people being injected directly into the workforce, even if you have you have more immigrants being directly injected into the workforce than you did under Biden, even if you have less illegal immigration. So yeah, it's still an issue. You can't just point to it and be like, this is immigration, because you can do the flip side and be like, well, okay, but what about the H-1Bs? Because that number has risen because of all the corporate interests. Again, he should be able to make that argument as a leftist too, that the corporations are screwing people. But he won't, because he's so invested in the idea of unfettered immigration. You know, because again, he will take every leftist position because he's a leftist. That's what someone has chosen for him to be.
Immigrants like come into the country and are just a leech on our economy and are bad for our economy is
true by pretty much every metric, because our immigration system is fucking retarded. It doesn't have to be that way. We could have an immigration system where immigrants come in and are net positive on the system. That's not where we currently are.
It's disproven over and over again. Immigrants
disproven by a bunch of fucking weirdo leftist studies. Immigrants boost overall economic growth. No. And again, if anyone mentions GDP, oh look, GDP right down there, GDP right down there. Anyone mentions GDP can go to hell, because GDP is not good for the American people. They can say that it makes the country stronger or whatever, all they want. Gross domestic product. It's just, I believe that's what it stands for. Yep, gross domestic product. But yeah, it's just overall production. You could replace every single American with AI and robots, make every American homeless, and mass produce robots, and make the GDP shoot up to like 30 additional trillion or something like that. GDP go up, all the Americans are homeless in that fictional scenario. So yeah, I don't care. I don't care. So even if immigrants were good for the economy, and illegal immigrants are not, illegal immigrants are a drain, GDP doesn't necessarily mean anything for the average citizen. Again, it can be actually bad. It can be actually bad depending on how it's done. Because if you handed the corporations a blank check to write immigration policy, GDP would go up and American people would suffer. So in some ways, it can be inversely, depending on how it's executed, it can actually be inversely beneficial. Oh, but yeah, no, I don't care about any of his stats because they're either cherry-picked or just meaningless, because he's not making good arguments. But yeah, I don't care about GDP, and we're talking illegal immigrants here, so foreign-born also start new businesses at higher rates. Yeah, because they can come over with more money, and that's also not a good time. Yeah, that's also not a good thing, though. You've got foreign-born also start new businesses at higher rates than U.S.-born individuals. You do realize that's taking opportunity from actual Americans, right? Right? People are coming over with money and starting new businesses, and to some extent that's fine. There will be some trickle down. They're going to have to hire people, although if they're Indians, they're going to hire other Indians because they have a very in-group preference, so they're largely going to hire other non-Americans, and sometimes even get more visas to bring more people into the country. So yeah, none of this is actually saying good things for Americans, and also none of this is talking about illegal immigrants, which is what we're talking about here, because the whole concept is about ICE.
Are typically considered a boost to overall economic growth. They grow the labor force.
Again, that's wrong. And again, this is, so yeah, if he can criticize Powder for talking about livable wage, which again, everyone should want a livable wage. If he can criticize Powder for not being able to talk about a livable wage as a right winger, as a Nazi chud, I can criticize this retard for talking about GDP and the economy as a leftist. Like, is this a leftist argument right now that he's making? No, it's a leftist argument because he's using it against a right-wing argument. That's it. Again, zero principles.
Economy is disproven over and over again. Immigrants are typically considered a boost to overall economic growth. They grow the labor
economic growth, says the leftist.
Force. They increase consumer spending. What you're
consumer spending
implying here is totally wrong. Immigration drives job growth and productivity. Increased immigration.
I don't care. Decrease in the deficit due to. Okay. This just looks fucking stupid. It's literally migrationpolicy.org. Their whole thing is making an argument for immigration. This is so stupid. So yeah, oh look. And you'll see it also goes into the future. So this is what they're telling us will happen. This is what the people who want more immigrants in the country are telling us will happen if we bring more immigrants into the country. Oh man. Increase in revenue from change. The graph literally says changes in the economy. What the fuck does that even mean? This is magic shit. This is just magic. They're spell casting here, guys. Increases in revenue from taxes paid by immigrants in the surge population. No, don't fall for their magic trickery. Don't fall for their witchcraft. This is so retarded. Estimated, oh my god. And what's the, like, what? So you've got dollars and years. Where's the immigrants? Line go up? Yeah, and the bad line go down. I mean, it looks good. And where's the immigrants in this? Maybe in a different graph or something, but right now we just have money and time. Up number is better number. Yes, these are the good numbers. revenue and taxes paid by people, and then this is the bad one, deficit. You know it's a lie because the deficit doesn't fucking go down. Like that, this line alone should disprove the whole graph. There ain't no way, brother.
Leads to a decrease in the deficit. And back to the idea that like this is the only way that we can get illegal immigrants out of the country. That having armed ICE agents.
It's not. And I will rant about this, I'm sure, in other videos too, but I've said repeatedly, there are so many things I want done that would get immigrants out of the country. Stop paying them to be here. Stop counting them on the census and the electoral college, and go after the businesses who hire them. Those three would clear up a huge chunk of the immigration. So he's right on that. He doesn't want these solutions. I want these solutions. But yeah, we can. I would. Hell, I'll go. I'll meet in the middle with this guy. We'll stop the ICE raids. Let's arrest the people hiring the immigrants. Let's stop paying the immigrants. Cut off all their benefits. Require voter ID. Like, lock everything down. Yeah, that's fine. And again, cut off the electoral college fraud too. We'll stop. I'm fine stopping the ICE raids. We don't need the ICE raids. He's right. We don't need the ICE raids. We need to press the button that actually disincentivizes the immigrants from being here.
Marching through the streets of Minneapolis,
self-deport.
which is up near the Canadian border, by the way, is the correct way to be removing.
It's also a sanctuary state or city or whatever. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a little performative. They're sending a message or whatever, but to act like because it's up north, there's no illegals there.
Which is up near.
Yeah, okay, what's your point? No, I also want them. I want them in Florida and Texas and California and all that too. What's your point?
The Canadian border, by the way, is the correct way to be removing illegal immigrants from this country. We did have an alternative to that. It was called the immigration bill. It was in 2023 under Biden. It was a bipartisan bill. It had support from both Republicans and Democrats. It would have resumed building the wall. It would have added more officers. It would have added more security. It would have offered more resources. It would have added resources to increase the processing of asylum cases. It would have added restrictions that allowed them to actually reduce the number of people.
I think he said this was under Biden. That was the one who was ordering, I forget who it was, National Guard. I think he had National Guard come in and cut the fences and let the immigrants in illegally that the Border Patrol had set up. So yeah, no. And there's so much pork in those bills. Like, again, you can just look at that and be like, yeah, no, there's more to that story. There's more to that story. Like, Biden was unironically the open borders candidate. He literally had them cutting open holes in the fence for illegals to swarm in. So yeah, no, I don't think he was trying to fix anything. So, they should have just passed this Biden bill. Nah, it was full of shit, I'm sure.
That were coming into the country. Like, a major part of our immigration issue is that we have legal backlog. Something about 30 to 50% of illegal immigrants in this country are just people who overstay their visas. It's not like they're all just coming over the border illegally.
That's a different thing though, and they can go too. But we also have a problem with the traditional illegal immigrant. Like, you don't just get to be like, well, there are other people here illegally too. Well, they can leave as well.
There are reasons that we need resources other than just armed officers.
Yes. Like I said, there's plenty of other things you can do. We don't just need ICE.
To deal with our immigration issue. And this bill that would have helped with all that was killed by Trump. He put pressure on the Republicans to not vote for it. They killed the bill that they were going to pass because he needed to run on immigration as an issue so he could get elected again. And then he bragged about killing it. And now we have nothing. We have no border bill. We have this. We have shootings in the streets of Minnesota. One thing that you can kind of just see over and over by the Twitch. Insane, stupid, ill-informed things that these people will say in their videos that they pump out every day is that these people don't care about anything. They don't care about this country.
I'm glad he doesn't pump out videos every day. Not that I would be forced to watch them. I was curious about like his newest one, made a huge mistake, but again, I'm not even gonna get in on this. I don't want to. I can't do more of this guy.
They don't care about making it better, actually.
I do like that this has all been at 1.5 speed too.
That's why I call them grifters, because they have no values except for just being anti-lib creators. They don't.
You're only you don't have values. Your values is leftist.
Give a shit about Minnesota.
And I can guarantee you Leaflet has put more thought into her politics than you've put into yours. I can guarantee you Kirsha, but especially Leaflet, because I like Kirsha, but Leaflet, you can tell, really thinks about her stuff. Kirsha's funny fox lady, but no, Kirsha thinks about her stuff too, but Leaflet definitely does. Like, she goes in depth on all that stuff. So yeah, no, like you can say, oh, they're just grifting and they haven't thought anything through other than being right wing. Nah, they all seem much more thoughtful than you. And again, like I said, Leaflet especially definitely thoughtful. But yeah, wow.
Or Minneapolis. They just want to point and laugh at Tim Walz because he was Kamala's running mate and he's a liberal, so that makes him the enemy. They don't give a shit.
And he's a massive slur.
That zero fraud has been uncovered as a result of the Nick Shirley video. By the way,
they don't want to uncover the fraud. The government is the enemy. They are in on it. There is massive fraud. Most of the government is fraud.
A video made by an actual mentally...
The government has investigated itself and found no wrongdoing. Just like the FBI, I think it was the FBI found no connections to Jeffrey Epstein. They didn't know about him at all or whatever. And they didn't. They had no connections to Epstein. They did nothing wrong. All files have been released except for the ones that haven't. The government's totally on top of this, man.
That zero fraud has been uncovered as a result of the Nick Shirley video. By the way, a video made by an actual mentally disabled person who's being used by right-wing media to attack Democratic...
That's not very woke of you. We investigated ourselves and found ourselves to be completely free from wrongdoing. Exactly. But yeah, this isn't very woke from this guy.
Politicians.
What do you mean by we're benevolent?
They don't care that there are more illegal immigrants in Texas and Florida than there are in Minnesota. And yet there was no operation to surge ICE agents into those states. And they don't care when American citizens get gunned down in the street. They don't care about anything. It's just a culture war grift. These people deserve your hate. They deserve...
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, as to, like I said, ICE should be more active in other places too if we're going to do that. Again, I think there are other ways to accomplish that also. Yep, attacking for nothing. But yeah, I think there are other ways to accomplish that. But if we are going to use ICE, yeah, they should be more active in Florida and Texas and stuff. I think they have been. They are not being rioted against, so it doesn't make as much news. Like the local law enforcement is actually cooperating with them. Yeah, it's just going smoother in the red states. But this goes back to my thing about counting them on the census and for electoral college votes. There is literally a perverse incentive for the red states not to go after their illegal immigrants because it would lower their electoral voting power. Which is why I'm saying press the fucking button. Press the fucking button. They do not count for the electoral college. We do not pay them a fucking cent if they're here illegally. And we go after the employers who employ illegal people. That's it. I solved immigration. And they know they could do it. They could do it. They don't want to. They don't want to because the government works for the corporations. Yeah, not a single peso. Oh, speaking of, there's another thing. Tax remittances. Like, just seize remittances. Don't let them send, like, if they have money that they made from their job, which they shouldn't have because they're here illegally competing with Americans, seize the money that they're trying to send out of the country because they shouldn't be able to come in here and send money back out of the country. That's not a good way to run an economy.
Texas and Florida than there are in Minnesota. And yet there was no operation to surge ICE agents into those states. And they don't care when American citizens get gunned down in the street. They don't care about anything. It's just a culture war grift. These people deserve your hate. They deserve to be bullied constantly. They should be shamed off every platform at every opportunity. And they're loser.
And again, he's still not going to say why. It's just because he hates them.
Their audiences should as well. Meanwhile, as these...
That's a lot of people. You worked with a lot of undocumented Hispanics and Jamaicans? Yeah? Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not against the individual people, if that's where you're going. But it's like, it's not a good system when we're bringing in people to compete with Americans. And they're taking advantage of the system. And like I said, the employers are taking advantage of the system. And yeah, no, they all got to go. They all got to go.
Constantly. They should be shamed off every platform at every opportunity. And their loser audiences should as well.
Loser audiences. Holy shit. That's a fuck ton of people. It's a fuck ton of people. And just for having the wrong opinions. Like, apparently, even if you watch Kirsha or Rev or Leaflet or Asmongold or something, you're just as bad as all of them. Wow.
Meanwhile, as these dipshits and morons choke down the boots so far that they're clearly hindering their ability for their brains to get oxygen, polling info is clear. ICE is not popular. Things are looking pretty good as we start to move towards the midterm elections later this year. Make sure you register to vote, by the way, and show up. please. It's clear that these awful events have finally started to wake people up to how awful this administration truly is. This is why we should be openly talking about politics more. When you talk about politics...
Wait! Is he wrapping up his right-wing grifter thing, saying people should talk about politics? He spends the entire video criticizing right-wing political commentators and then says we need to talk about politics more? Is that what I am perceiving here? Of course. Again, that's one of the big problems with this entire thing is there is no standard, just a double standard. Left good, right bad. You can't argue that position because it's not a justifiable reality. You have to be able to treat people equally in a system, or it's not gonna fucking work. You can't just be like, this politics good, this politics bad. We're treating the people who have this politics really, really badly because we hate you, and I just realized, does this retard realize he's basically doing like the Weimar Germany argument? Like this guy would spawn the next Hitler, man. Like if we put this guy in power, the funny mustache man would come back, almost guaranteed. Maybe we should let this guy cook. Holy shit. No, but do you get what I'm saying? Not about the letting him cook part, but do you get what I'm saying? Like disenfranchising all the conservatives? What does he think's gonna happen? They're not just gonna lay down and die. You're pissing off the potentially most dangerous. They'll get up on those levels of white rage, right to hold up there, buddy, or whatever it is. I forget the graph, but it's pretty funny. But yeah, they will reach the now hold on just 1 minute, partner. Like it's yeah. I mean, yeah, you're creating a freaking powder keg. You're creating Weimar Germany. You're creating the American Reich that you fear so much. This would do it. That's insane. Drive off everyone we hate just based on their politics, make them poor and miserable, make them have nothing to live for, make it even more clear that the system hates them. What could go wrong?
Wake people up to how awful this administration truly is. This is why we should be openly talking about politics more. When you talk about politics, these kinds of scum always poke their head up and reveal themselves, and that allows you to...
Oh, he just wants to talk about politics so he can punish right-wingers more. His argument's even more retarded than I thought.
Start to root them out. And they do need to be rooted out. They have...
No, I was wrong. He's the Nazi.
completely align themselves with an authoritarian pedophile rapist, and they will go along with any insane thing he tries to do. Liberals often have this approach of being like timid and conciliatory, even in the face...
Excuse me, what? Scratch a leftist and a Nazi, please.
So it's like awful, disgusting people saying and doing awful, disgusting things, and we just need to get over that. These people are scum. They should be treated like scum. Don't ever be nice to them. If you have friends who are voting conservative, stop being their friends. Fuck them. They don't care about you. They don't care about this country. If they did, they wouldn't be voting for this shit. They should never be able to live normal lives in a civilized society ever again. We're not gonna get our normal country back until we get these parasitic scum to fuck off forever. I guess that pretty much covers it. But also, fuck ICE.
Well, okay, that was unhinged. And again, like, can we apply the same standard in the other direction? Should we treat him how he suggests we be treated? While begging for the advance at the end, yeah. So dumb. That was really bad. Heroes of the Storm shouldn't be dead. It kind of should. It was a boring game. Ending off on a totally separate note there. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. That was something. There wasn't a whole lot to react to on him specifically, but there was still enough to rant about stuff. Wow, that was bad. I knew it was going to be bad. I didn't know it was going to be that bad. All right, peace.